Alright, so today we're going to be doing a little bit of a garden tour, a little bit of a garden harvest as well, so stick around to the end, be sure to like and subscribe if you're brand new, and let's go into this. Alright, so over here are the gourds, right over here, these 3 rows. Only a couple in the first row came up. Most of them in the second row came up. Actually, I think just about all of them. These were where the peas used to be, and literally just about all the other ones in here came up as well. We planted these back in early July, so unfortunately, I don't really think they're going to do anything until like September or October, so let's just pray we don't get a frost before then. Over here we have zucchini. These are much more 2 size because supposedly zucchini grows a little bit faster. You can see there are some buds starting to form on this one that are going to lead to some flowers. So I suspect that we'll start getting some full-grown zucchini probably by about the end of the month to early next month, so it'll be delayed by a whole lot. Just plant them like a month late. Over here are more of these zucchini plants. This one's a little bit doing less because of the flea beetles. Eggplants, we're going to get into harvesting these. Most of these are the typical purple ones you could find at the shelf at any store. And then right over here, we have white eggplants. These are a little bit different. I used to say this was a disease, but actually it's just a certain variety of them. Unfortunately, it's not doing as hot as these other ones over here as I would really want them to be. So yeah, let's move on to the trellis next. Alright, so the cucumbers are just about dead at this point because yeah, they got absolutely annihilated by the water, and they're typically the first in the garden to die. Unless it was 2020. We're going to get right into doing this harvest later, so stick around to the end, as I already said. Anyways, you can see all these cherry tomatoes are starting to turn red. Once they're about this color, the one here, right here, about this color, and they're easy to peel off, you can get some cherry tomatoes to harvest. It'll definitely be the greatest thing you will ever taste. For some reason, garden plants simply just taste better than the store-bought plants. Then we have more of these peppers. These are, I think, yellow, orange, and red. I will sometimes screw up these videos because these aren't scripted, or I will literally say we have green peppers. But if you don't know, green peppers is just a fully grown pepper before it starts to change colors. So if I were to harvest one of these peppers, it would technically qualify as a green pepper, but we're gonna have to wait a little bit until, yeah. And here's a cute little frog right over here. I don't know if you saw it hopping through the grass. Frogs aren't typically that bad of a sign. I know some people don't like them in their garden, only certain varieties of frogs will eat your plants though. Tomatoes, these guys are coming in nicely. You can see how a lot of them are probably actually ready for getting harvested today, and yeah, this is gonna look really nice. And I think we're gonna get about 3 tomatoes today, probably more or less. 3 plus or minus tomatoes, and at least 5 to 8 of these cherry tomatoes. I don't know if I'll have to harvest those cucumbers. Unfortunately, they're not green, so it won't be that good of a harvest like it was yesterday. Like that one tiny cucumber was so eye-catching, I had to harvest it early, unfortunately, however. So this will be just a red basket by the time we get it. So these are Romas, and the rest of them are, I don't even remember. I think there's just 1 or 2 other varieties. Typically there'd be sunflowers over here, and I'd love to show you them, but unfortunately we got to them a little bit too late because, yeah, there weren't really any Oh my. Well, looks like the chickens did a really good job reproducing the seeds into the soil, because look at this thing. I've always just completely ignored them, but we actually do have a sunflower in the garden. I thought this was a weed. I'm so glad I didn't knock it down, because I'm gonna come through here tomorrow and start harvesting them. I had the biggest realization in like human history. So I think that by about the end of the month, we're gonna have some things out of here to harvest. Anyways, let's move on to the potatoes, then the corn, and last but not least, the harvest, the moment you are all waiting for. But before we do, we have to show you the strawberry patch. Nothing's going on right now. Blueberries, every single time it blooms, there's a bird that goes in here and eats everything. The grass is thriving because of the rain, and yeah, that's just about everything there really was to say about that part of the garden. So let's go out of the immediate garden and into the more interesting things. The potatoes are next, and they are definitely going in nicely over here. The mint has went to seed, so it'll come back next year. As long as this winter is like decent and it doesn't start to come up early and then we get a massive snowstorm. Fortunately, it's not too affected by the weeds, but you can definitely tell where the weeds are. So allow me to really quickly just do that to the weeds, you know, make it feel a little bit of pain, you know, because don't touch my potatoes, man. The weeds have definitely taken advantage of the potatoes, and if you look there are a couple of flowers starting to come in on these things. So once these things start dying back, which will probably be around September, early September to mid-September, I'll do a harvest. And if for whatever reason the harvest decides to do good, because a lot of sweet potato harvests do good, yeah, I'll be keeping you in the loop of the potatoes as often as I possibly can. Let's go up to the corn next. I'll probably do a similar corn harvest to last summer, so yeah. So right off the bat, there's a lot more corn plants than I actually expected. Not nearly as much as last year, but about the same amount. It's hard to tell because of the weeds, unfortunately, but as you can see in here, hopefully, some of these corn plants, this one right over here especially, are tasseling. If you guys don't know what tasseling is, it means that corn is about to start growing on here. And hopefully we can do a harvest like last year, and I can do another small short or even an entire video this year where I go up here with one of the four-wheelers and I go up here, pick out some of the nice little things in here, nice little, I forgot what they're called. I think we'll probably harvest them maybe in early September to late August, probably around the time school starts, which is August 23rd. So that's about the time I'm hoping for a good harvest over here. Not a guarantee, but just potential facts. It's an estimation. Anyways, let's go on to the harvest. This is the part of the video you're all waiting for. Typically I just shut off the video up here. We're gonna go all the way back down to the garden, and we're about to do a little bit of a harvest. We're gonna harvest tomatoes and some other cool stuff, so let's go. It's now that time in the video where all the overdone tomatoes and stuff that just isn't ready for harvest and won't ever be ready for harvest is about to go right to the chickens. It's starting to become a tradition. This is the third video in a row that utilizes this, so let's do that real quick. All right, there's only a couple chickens that are out right now, but one of them is Loudmouth. So Loudmouth, you're gonna enjoy this. I wonder if Cute's gonna reconsider. I got you some food. I'm just gonna open up the coop door just in case somebody wants to have some of this. Have into it, chickens. Well, their reaction was a little bit underwhelming today because I did this harvest later. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. This barred rock right over there would really like to see you again.